Hello? Hazel said. Who are you? Who are you? The girl answered. Her voice sounded weary, like she was tired of answering questions. Hazel and Leo exchanged looks. With this demigod gig, you never knew who you'd run into. 9 times out of 10, it wasn't good. A ninja camouflage in earth tones didn't strike Leo as something he wanted to deal with just then. Are you the kid Nemesis mentioned? Leo asked. But you're a girl. You're a girl, said the girl. Excuse me? Leo said. Excuse me? The girl said miserably. You're repeating! Leo stopped. Oh, hold it, Hazel. Wasn't there some myth about a girl who repeated everything? Echo, Hazel said. Echo, the girl agreed. She shifted, her dress changing with the landscape. Her eyes were the color of salt water. Leo tried to home in on her features, but he couldn't. I don't remember the myth, he admitted, but you were cursed to repeat the last thing you heard. You heard, Echo said. Oh, poor thing, Hazel said. If I remember right, a goddess did this. A goddess did this, Echo confirmed. Leo scratched his head. Wasn't that thousands of years? Oh, you're one of the mortals who came back through the doors of death. I really wish we could stop running into dead people. Dead people, Echo said, like she was chastising him. He realized Hazel was staring at her feet. Sorry, he muttered. I didn't mean it that way. That way, Echo pointed to the far shore of the island. You want to show us something? Hazel asked. She climbed down the boulder and Leo followed. Even up close, Echo was hard to see. In fact, she seemed to get more invisible the longer he looked at her. You sure you're real? He asked. I mean, flesh and blood? Flesh and blood. She touched Leo's face and made him flinch. Her fingers were warm. So, you have to repeat everything? He asked. Everything. Leo couldn't help smiling. That could be fun. Fun, she said unhappily. Blue elephants. Blue elephants. Kiss me, you fool. You fool. Hey! Hey! Leo, Hazel pleaded. Don't tease her. Don't tease her, Echo agreed. Okay, Leo said, though he had to resist the urge. It wasn't every day he met somebody with a built-in talkback feature. So what are you pointing at? Do you need our help? Help, Echo agreed emphatically. She gestured for them to follow and sprinted down the slope. Leo could only follow her progress by the movement of the grass and the shimmer of her dress as it changed to match the rocks. We better hurry, Hazel said, or we'll lose her. They found the problem, if you can call a mob of good-looking girls a problem. Echo led them down into a grassy meadow shaped like a blast crater, with a small pond in the middle. Gathered at the water's edge were several dozen nymphs. At least Leo guessed they were nymphs. Like the ones at Camp Half-Blood, those were gossamer dresses. Their feet were bare, they had Elvis features, and their skin had a slightly greenish tinge. Leo didn't understand what they were doing, but they were all crowded together in one spot, facing the pond and jostling for a better view. Several held up phone cameras, trying to get a shot over the heads of the others. Leo had never seen nymphs with phones. He wondered if they were looking at a dead body. If so, why were they bouncing up and down and giggling so excitedly? What are they looking at? Leo wondered. Looking at? Echo sighed. One way to find out. Hazel marched forward and began nudging her way through the crowd. Excuse me. Pardon me. Hey! One of the nymphs complained. We were here first. Yeah, another sniffled. He won't be interested in you. The second nymph had large red hearts painted on her cheek. Over her dress, she wore a t-shirt that read, OMG, I Heart N. Demigod business, Leo said, trying to sound official. Make room, thanks. The nymphs grumbled, but they parted to reveal a young man kneeling at the edge of the pond, gazing intensely at the water. Leo usually didn't pay much attention to how other guys looked. He supposed that came from hanging around Jason. Tall, blonde, rugged, and basically everything Leo would never be. Leo was used to not being noticed by girls. At least he knew he'd never get girls by his looks. He hoped his personality and sense of humor would do that someday, though it definitely had not worked yet. At any rate, Leo couldn't miss the fact that the guy at the pond was one super good-looking dude. He had a chiseled face with lips and eyes that were somewhere between feminine beautiful and masculine handsome. Dark hair swept over his brow. He might have been 17 or 30. It was hard to say, but he was built like a dancer. with long, graceful arms and muscular legs, perfect posture, and an air of regal calm. He wore a simple t-shirt and jeans, with a bow and quiver strapped to his back. The weapons obviously hadn't been used in a while. The arrows were covered in dust. A spider had woven a web in the top of the bow.